Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from Lindsay with Love, and I hope everybody is having an amazing day, a great start to the week. I wanted to jump on today to chat with you a little bit about my guardian angel, and specifically this trick that I recently learned on how to ask for help from my guardian angel. I've been doing it now for about 6 months, and everything that I've asked for has been given to me, and it has made my life way easier. I don't have stress about the outcome of things. I'm calmer. I kind of have this like inner peace in like knowing that after I ask, my angel's duty is to literally help me. In fact, our angels sit around waiting for us to ask for help. So I'm giving my angel something to do so she's not bored. And I just like have this release of the outcome, which makes creating and it makes like everyday life just much simpler. So enough about me, enough about my angels. Here is the trick. I read a book, it's called The Gentle Way by Tom T. Moore. And in this book, Tom literally gives us the verbiage on how to speak to our angels. He has his guardian angel named Theo that's been guiding him for many years, and he's been so kind as to share this information to the world. And because it's been working so well for me, I cannot help but share it with you guys. And I really hope that even if one person who sees this video starts doing this and has results, then my goal here is done. I've helped somebody use this trick and just make life easier. So the way to properly speak with our angels, as advised by Tom, and I can vouch because I've been doing this now for a while, like I said, is to start with the words, I request the most benevolent outcome for, and then whatever it is you're searching for, thank you, right? Because we want to say thank you, we want to be polite to our angel who works so hard for us every day. Once again, it's I request the most benevolent outcome for, fill in the blank, thank you. And then once your angel gives you the answer or the response or does whatever it is that you're asking for, make sure to thank him or her in a way that's special and not just an average thank you to just say anybody, right? So for me, I love to say to my angel, thank you times a million, because my angel then knows that I specifically am saying thank you to her, and it's thank you for the task that she just completed. All right, so you're probably wondering, like, benevolent, like what the heck, what does this even mean? So benevolent truly, like by definition, it means well-being or kindly. So when you're saying benevolent, you're basically saying, I request the most kindly outcome. I request the most well-being outcome, right? Basically, in layman's terms, what this is saying is I'm requesting the best outcome for everybody involved in this request. So you don't want to necessarily just request an outcome that you think is the best for you, because it may not be the best for you. So it's your angel's job to decide what the most benevolent outcome is and then to produce. And as a side note, if you have a hard time with the word benevolent because we don't typically use it in like the day-to-day language that we speak right now on earth, you could say the MBO. Tom says it's okay to say MBO, most benevolent outcome. So that's just the acronym. Okay, so let me give you a real life example of a most benevolent outcome that just happened to me this past weekend. So we stream Roku, we use a Roku to stream TV, right? Live television, Hulu, Netflix, whatever it is. And oftentimes, because we're on the Wi-Fi, sometimes it can get choppy in the building that I live in. And so sometimes we'll just be watching like a black screen with a circle, right? And in those moments, I love to say, I request the most benevolent outcome that my TV works immediately. Thank you. And then usually it's like a couple of seconds and the TV turns back on and I say, thank you times a million. And every time I'm excited, which at this point, I don't know why, I should expect the miracle to happen, but every time I'm so excited and so grateful that my angel helped me. Well, this past weekend, I was exhausted. Like, I can't describe to you. I just felt so tired, and I just think there's a lot of energy and a lot of density happening right now on the planet. And I know there's a lot of planets in retrograde, and there's a full moon coming up. It's happening today, actually, as I film. So I just felt exhausted, and I was binge watching this show. I'd gotten so hooked, and it got time for me to click enter on the remote, like go to the next episode. And the remote stopped working. So I was like, oh, okay. I request the most benevolent outcome that my TV remote works immediately. Thank you. And I waited a few seconds and I clicked the button again and nothing. So on the Roku remote, there's like a little green light that you can tell if it's working or not. So I thought, okay, well, maybe it's the batteries and maybe my angel is busy or I'm not being patient enough with the word immediately. So let me just pop out a battery and like wiggle them around, because sometimes that works, and then I'll put it back in and ask again. So I did, and I put the battery back in and I said, I request the most benevolent outcome that my TV remote control works immediately. And it still didn't work, but this time the green light was blinking, like the remote was trying to pair with the Roku. So I thought, okay, getting closer. And I tried to reword it a little bit, like, I request the most benevolent outcome that the remote control pairs with my Roku. Thank you. And nothing happened, and nothing happened. So I just kind of finally gave up. I was so tired at that point, and I didn't want to go scrummaging for batteries, and it's dark, and my partner was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake him, and all of those things. So I was just like, all right, forget it. I'm going to go to sleep. So I went to bed, and in the morning I woke up, and I was so surprised when I woke up because it was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I know you guys don't know my sleep schedule, but I literally don't wake up any later than 7, and that's even on a weeknight, on a weekend morning, right? So I'm always up by 7, typically earlier, and I was just so surprised to see that it was 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, holy cow, what happened? How am I still asleep? Why am I just waking up? So I get my morning coffee, and I'm kind of laying there, and I like to read in the morning when I first wake up, just to kind of give myself a little bit to think about, or some trick to try, like a gratitude trick or an angel trick or whatever it is. So I like to read. And finally, when it came time for me to turn on the TV, I thought, oh shoot, I forgot about last night. I have to repair the remote control, and I have to get batteries, blah, blah, blah. Nope. I turned power, and the screen said remote control pairing. The green dot blinked for a while, and then everything worked fine. I didn't replace the batteries. I didn't do anything. And in that moment, I just kind of giggled to myself. And of course I said, thank you times a million, right? But I giggled because that was the most benevolent outcome for me. My angel was helping me go to bed because she knew I needed sleep. She knew I was exhausted. I needed to reset my energy. And so she's like, no, I'm not gonna fix the remote for you. The best outcome for you tonight is to go to bed, Lindsay. And so that's just a really quick example that literally just happened to me 2 days ago of how it's better to say most benevolent outcome, because sometimes you don't know what even is best for you. You may think you know what's best for you, but at the end of the day, your guardian angel really truly knows what is best for you in that specific moment, right? So that's an example. Another example Tom likes to say in his book about when it may not work exactly how you think it should is parking spaces. So people that are just becoming, that are being introduced to this idea typically like to use parking spaces because it's one of those things where if you're on your way to the grocery store, and typically it's like a packed grocery store, or it's snowing or raining or whatever, you can say, I request the most benevolent outcome for the closest parking space to the grocery store. Thank you. And it's very likely that you will get the closest space to the parking, or to the grocery store, excuse me. So in the book though, Tom says sometimes you may not get the closest space or get exactly what you asked for. But the reason is because maybe had you gotten the closest space, you might have been door dinged, or you're under a tree with tons of birds, and we all know what happens when there are birds in a tree above our car, right? So in those instances where you don't get exactly what you wanted, it is actually your angel giving you exactly what you should get or what you need at that moment. So a parking space is a great place to start because you will get the outcome immediately, and you can kind of start to believe it, right? Because as humans, we have a hard time believing something if we don't see it with our own eyes. So parking space is a great place to start. If you find yourself in that scenario where you don't get the best parking space and there's one left and it's under a tree with a bunch of birds, you could say something like, I request the most benevolent outcome that my car is perfectly clean when I come out of this store. Thank you. In other words, saying, birds, please don't do what you have to do on my car. Thank you. And then when you come out from the store and your car is clean, just make sure you find a way. I say thank you times a million. You can use the way I say it. You can say thank you, thank you, thank you. You can say gracias, señor, whatever, however you want to say it. A special way to say thank you to your angel, to your guardian angel. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is our guardian angel's job. They're with us 24/7. They want the best for us, but we have got to ask. We have to verbally ask. So that's another point. Say it out loud. Even if it sounds crazy or people think that you're talking to yourself, you can whisper it. Like, I do it all the time on airplanes, so sometimes I forget. So on the flight, I'll be like, I request the most benevolent outcome that we get there safe. Thank you. And I just whisper it like really quietly under my breath, but it's important that it's out loud, okay? So that's how you request for yourself. You might be thinking, well, I know somebody who's sick, or I know somebody who's traveling soon, or whatever the case may be, that you want to help that other person, right? Because we always all want to help our loved ones out as much as we can. So for that scenario, Tom advises us to say, I ask. So this time we're asking because it's not our angel, so we can't request it. I ask any and all beings, help make sure my mom gets here safely, right? So my mom travels across the country to come see me. So as in this example, I'm asking any and all beings, so my mom's angel, maybe the pilot, maybe the Uber driver, maybe all the other passengers in the airport and on her flight that are traveling, they all come together, all these angels conspire together to make sure my mom arrives safely. And then when my mom arrives safely and I get her from the airport, I just do another quick thank you times a million, just to let my angel know that I'm very grateful for her and I'm very grateful that she helped me with this task. So in closing, I really urge you to start trying this. I request the most benevolent outcome for, or if you're asking for somebody else, I ask any and all beings to, whatever it is, make sure to say thank you at the end. And then when you start to see the miracles happen right in front of your eyes, make sure you find a special way to say thank you to your guardian angel. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I will see you again next Tuesday right here on YouTube, Lindsay with Love. If you want to connect before then, you can feel free to join me on any of my social media. I'm on Instagram at Lindsay with Love. You can go to lindsaywithlove.com. I'm on Facebook, Lindsay with Love. I also have a Facebook group that I'll leave the link in the bio if you're interested in joining. It's a group for like high vibing, healing women who are just going through the journey. It's a safe space for us to all share our stories and respect each other and help each other along. And if you want a PDF printout to this, so you don't forget how to ask properly, I will leave the link in the bio. You can head over to my website. It's there for download for free. So I hope everyone has a great time. Make sure that anything that we want and need help with, we can ask our angels for, but we have got to use the words. We have to ask. So don't forget to ask next time you're struggling with something or you just want a really good day. And I hope to see all of you soon. And if not, I'll see you again next week. Bye.